Okay, let's bring a few models into my second example here. Once again, I make multiple examples because I want you not to copy me exactly, but just to be making your own thing. In the tutorials where it's just follow along, follow along, follow along, yeah, that should end up looking exactly like mine, right? Like a machine. But on yours, yeah, it should look like yours, whatever it is. And that's the thing that's a lot more fun for me. Okay, that being said, let's take a look at this for a second. Let's take a picture here. And we'll notice that everything in here is sort of leading you down to this focal point right here. At the beginning of the year, I emphasized drawing and looking at things. And, hey, watch TV, watch movies, watch whatever. Don't watch YouTube stuff, right? Don't watch amateur stuff. Watch professional stuff because these are people that are good at what they do. And you'll see that every frame in every movie is is beautiful. Every frame could be a picture. Okay, that being said, yeah, everything's working down towards the central area right here. Let's see if we can maintain that or even enhance it as we get a lot more stuff in here. Okay, so let's bring in some models. And let's see, we'll go to the 3D models and to the colored models. And okay, now right down here, see, I see this bench G. Bench G, that looks pretty nice. So right there. Okay, so I'm going to bring in bench G and see what happens. Seems like the most appropriate one to work as a pew. Right, there we go. And so I'm going to take a look at this from the top view. Make my roof go away for a second. Alrighty, and let's go ahead and move this guy right over here. And let's rotate it. I've got my angle snaps on, so that makes that nice and easy. Okay, that's looking pretty good. And I'm going to go ahead and shift copy this over this way. I'm going to get a whole bunch of models here. Okay, and so this is coming out as a copy. That's fine. I don't see any reason to make this as a reference. So we'll just say, okay. And then we're going to control click so I get both of these. Shift, move it forward. And I would say, how many copies do we want? How about, let's go for 11. 11 copies would be good. And there we go. Yes, we've pretty much filled up our space pretty nicely. And now that we've got all these, I think what I'd want to do is group them because, the Scene Explorer can get crazy busy. So I'm going to just go ahead and this right here, and I'm going to shift right there. That's going to select them all. I'm going to go here to my groups and say group, and we'll call it benches. All right, and so that way we can just close that up. And you know what else? I've got like a ton of Omni lights, and they could be grouped as well. So we're going to go up here to groups, group, and we're going to call that wall lights. Because we're going to get a couple more lights in here, I think, and so we want that to be distinctive. Okay, so those are my wall lights. All right, all good. Okay, so let's take a peek here. So that's not looking too bad. Looks okay. And now I think we need something up front. So here, back to my perspective view and back to my models. And let's do something from these non-colored models. Because once again, I don't want you to be afraid of these because there's just, well, so many more of them. How about furniture and tables? Furniture, tables. Let's see. Anything that we could use is, let's say, like an altar, that kind of area. Ooh, this one looks like it would work pretty well. Okay, so I'm just going to bring this down here. And there it is. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit here. All right, and we'll go to the top again. But I always bring things in perspective. I find that works a lot better. So even though it'd be convenient just to stay in my top, yeah, perspective is where it's at. Um, let's see, everything else is looking pretty good there. Let's see here. That's obviously just right. Let's go like that. Oh, that centered it. Just so. Okay, let me see. How about a few other things? So back to perspective, and I can even zoom in over here. There, give me some room to do a few things with. And how's about, I think in home stuff, household items, I might have like candelabras and things like that. Is that where I have those? No, not in household items. How about in home stuff decor? I've got so many random models that I've tried to organize them. Just, think about them logically. I think you'll get it. Okay, so yeah, here's a bunch of different candelabras and stuff. Yeah, okay. Oh, look, here's a candelabra that is actually one that goes on the floor. That might be really good. So candle H, we'll bring one of those in. And so that's pretty good. And maybe something to put onto the table as well. So I thought I saw something down here that was kind of, looked appropriate. It wouldn't be appropriate to put like, I don't know, a Chevy Camaro in there or something. I guess you could. Oh, here, yeah, I thought this one kind of fit with everything else. So we'll bring this one in as well. And, I think that for now, that's probably enough models because I want to mess with lighting a little bit in this tutorial as well. So let's bring this up here. And let's bring this up here. Boop. Up onto my table right there. That's pretty good. All right, so there was a couple things. Remember when I was back in my camera view and I said, okay, well, I want some emphasis. And I can see that, from here, the table and stuff gets really small. So how about if I go ahead and make that a little bit bigger? I want to make that table a little bit because it's sort of like a kitchen table, but I think more like, you know, something that you would stand at instead, more like an altarpiece or whatever. That could be good. Of course, my vase here needs to be placed back on it. Oops, back on it again. Let's find my vase. There it is. Raise that guy up. Okay, now I can grab him. And I think I wanted to make this a little bit bigger too. Just like I say, more emphasis, a little bit more grand. Maybe it's like a baptismal or something like that. Okay, and maybe center these guys a little bit better. So I'm looking at this, and the table is just fine. How about this? We'll go ahead and center that up a little bit, and we're gonna spin it to, let me see, 90 degrees. All right. So, ooh, that's maybe a little bit too big now. Yeah, that's a little bit gigantical. Let's bring it down just a bit. We'll keep it kind of long, but just not quite so dang high. And this guy here, place it down again, and move it to the center. Okay, looks pretty good. And what about, I can make that thinner too. We're making all kinds of adjustments to this model. Okay, what about then these guys over here? Just take this, maybe move it over this way, and maybe make it a bit bigger as well. Okay, so let's see how that looks from my camera view. Yeah, so it's pretty big when you get up close, but maybe we'll just big enough to see it. All right, so let's put some materials on these guys because they didn't come with them. So let's see here. Let's do the table first. We'll go here. Okay, and one of the nice things about this is that we can go down here and we can find it, right? So there's the table. All right, let's move this over. I like to keep this area as neat as possible because, when you get so much stuff going on, it really does help. And yeah, so we just have a standard material, not much to it. So let's go ahead and make it view in the viewport, show in the viewport, and let's put something on it. So if I go back to art and back to images and wood, I think maybe this wood might look really good. Or maybe something a little bit lighter so it shows up. Nah, we'll go with this. Why not? Kind of matches this whole medieval thing. All right, so we got that. And so, okay, how's it looking? Well, first off, we can see that the boards, I think, are going not exactly in the direction that I would like. Let me turn off this vase for a second. Okay. Or even better yet, I can just isolate the table. That'd be the smarter thing to do, wouldn't it? Okay, so I think I want the boards going the other way. That's easy enough to do. I can just go in here and in my material, I'm going to, in the picture of the material, I'm going to make this, change this around, okay, 90 degrees. 90. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. Then this is a little bit weird how it seems like the pattern's repeating. I can go ahead and I could stretch it out a bit. No? Oh, this is where I want to do it. Okay, so in my tiling, so less than 1. Okay, it's not looking too bad. And yeah, that's not looking too bad. Let's see. What about... Yeah, no, that's just fine. That looks fine. And how does the rest of the table look? For what we're doing, it's okay. I mean, it's doing some funky things on the legs, but that might be a happy accident. It just makes it look like it has more detail in it than what it really does. So, okay, we're good. We didn't have to do anything more with that. So we'll end that isolation, put the vase back on here. Alrighty, so let's take a look at the vase here. Back to my material editor and the vase. There it is. And we'll move that over here. And so, okay, it's got a multi-sub and it says vase. That's very nice. But it's all gray. I can't tell what's what. So if I go like this, and in my diffuse color, if I just start messing with it, I'll see which parts are which. Yeah. So I think this is one of those times where I want that default shading turned off. That way I can see it a little bit better. And once again, Yeah, I can see that the metal around it and the base is one, and then the bowl seems to be another. Well, that's pretty logical. Okay, so let's make that metal kind of a gold color. A little bit of yellow, a bit more towards the red. Okay, a little bit more towards the white, and there you go. That's a decent enough gold. And you see that picture is great. You can just make anything. And let's give it a little bit of shine with that. Okay. And you know, in here, this is like how the shine works. And maybe I want it to be not just absolutely white. Maybe I want it to match this gold a little bit better. So, you know, I've got this color picker right up here. Do that. But I do want it to have a little bit of shine to it. Just didn't want it to be pure white. There. How about something like that? That looks pretty good. Alrighty. So we've got that, and then that'll be fine. We've got a little bit of shine on the metal there. Okay, and then for the bowl part, I think what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and use that same marble. That marble that we used in those statues in the last video. That'd be alright. Here, we're just gonna, there we go. Just gonna go ahead and plug that in and make sure that we can see it. Okay, all good. And do we need any more to it? All right, that doesn't look like it's showing up in the render yet. So let's go ahead and let's add a UVW map to this. Display selected again. Okay, and so then here, and we're going to go to elements because we just want that part, and we'll add a UVW map. Alrighty, here we go, all the way down at the bottom. And let's see, maybe the planar might be just fine for this. Okay, that marble looks pretty good, but the whole picture is pretty dark. Let's see what we can't do about that here in just a little bit. All right, since I like the way that map's going on there, though, I'm going to collapse that. And now, what about these candlesticks? What about these? So if we go over here, and once again, if I ground up, there's my candlestick. And okay, and so it's all gray once again. That's all right. Let's do this. Just click off to the side. Click on one of these guys right here. Making sure that it's selected because, you know, sometimes things can seem like, well, yeah, I would have selected that one, but I had not really. You really gotta double click on that thing if you want it to be selected. Here it is. Double click on it. Okay, and so now we're seeing the parameters for that one. Okay, and so in here, okay, looks like the candles are one, and then the candle holder is another. That's pretty logical. I liked the gold of the other one. So let's find the vase. And what we can do is we can just copy right in here. Right click, say copy, and then back to here. And I can say paste. And now I've got that same gold. I will, though, have to change my spectrum here a little bit to make things shiny. Okay. The candles themselves, I think if we just made those a little bit, they're not shiny, you know, they have a little bit of dull matte shine to them. So that's why I get a curve, something like that. And as far as color goes, you know, you could go full on red, for instance, but I think what I'm going to do is go much more towards just an off-white. So a little bit of creaminess to that white. That'll be fine. And we'll leave that spectrum color the same. All right, so that's looking pretty good. I think I've got everything pretty much done as far as what I want. So let's go to my camera again and put on the roof and take a picture. Okay, so that's not too bad, but we don't even really see the things that we've put up here. So let's see if we can't build an emphasis back into this area. Okay,